without having to pay that. Make sure that the link you're sending scanners will work. That would be a good thing, right? Don't make it too small.
Test, test, test.
There's a painter that he put it on his card, and he put it so small that it just wouldn't work. So I said, well, I guess it's going to have to work as a design element. So, but make sure it works on your phone, or that'd just be frustrating. And then long load times. Lots of zooming in. That's why you want to mobilize your website. You want to make a mobile site. So here's a question that you may have. How do you convert your site to a mobile site? Well, there's a thing called Google's conversion utility. There's a bunch of them out there, but one of them is this. There's the URL. By the way, at the end of this presentation, there will be a QR code up there that you can scan and you can get my entire presentation. So if you don't want to take notes, you don't have to. If you go there, it'll actually convert your site, and you can tell it to either leave images in or take them out. Usually when you're doing a mobile site, you don't want a whole bunch of images because downloading speeds will be affected that way. For presentations that I do where people can scan it, they'll fall on different landing pages. So what I did was I handed out cards that had QR codes very similar to what you have. They would scan that code. It would drive into a page. There were only 3 winners in that room that particular day. If they got the winning card, it said, hey, you're a winner of a Starbucks gift card. Come up and receive your gift. If not, I offered 15% off my services. So they still got a deal even though they didn't get the prize. Tracking, I just talked about that. Very easy to track, especially if you utilize landing pages. You can, I know, yeah.
Go ahead, no, I'll let you finish the point.
I know GoDaddy had separate landing pages, so on Sunday night you went to a different landing page than you did on Monday. So they could see what type of traffic they were getting, what type of response they were getting from the readership that they had.
Just really quick on the last point, so promotion and marketing, that's actually where I am on the production end of it, right? So we work with Dr. Pepper and their drivers when they're trying to promote Dr. Pepper 10. We actually create a QR code that their drivers wear on the back of the t-shirts.
Okay.
So if you see a Dr. Pepper driver in the store, you've got your smartphone, you can go to their 10 website, scan it on their shirts and go. I've got one here if anybody wants to try it.
How cool is that? You know, there was a guy that just ran in the Boston Marathon. I was talking to Elkie about it. He ran the Boston Marathon. He had over 100,000 hits because he just has QR code on his shirt, and as he ran by, people scanned his code.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, what a great concept. Printing, we have a lot of printers in here. It's a great tool to use. And like I said, you don't want to be behind technology. You at least want to look like, even if you don't have a smartphone, if you have a dumb phone, you at least want to look like you're on the edge of cutting technology. So, you know, a QR code can be one of those things you can do with minimal cost. Ease of use, they're very easy to track, like I said. You can make landing pages. You can even drive them to your Facebook page. If you have a Facebook page, you can make separate Facebook pages so you can drive traffic to that, and you can get your Google Analytics and everything right from there. This is the downloader, the reader that I actually told you. I've been through, I've tested the readers out, and mainly free ones because I know that people won't buy them. The QR code reader that comes on your iPhone, I don't want to be specific, but I'm an iPhone user. It comes on it, doesn't read everything. So I keep both of them on my phone. Doesn't take up that much space. Sometimes the QR code reader, the other one will work. Crafter has been the most successful for me, and it scans the smallest. I've scanned as small as like a 1/4 inch QR code. You got to be really still whenever you do that. So anyhow, if you don't have that reader, we're getting ready to do some QR codes that I have up here because I want to show you kind of how they work, and then the main part of this thing is showing you how to make them. Okay, they're very easy to make. So this QR code. If somebody wants to scan it, tell me where it takes you if you have a smartphone. I think this is an email. We're going to talk about the different aspects of what QR codes can do. Do you get an email or you get a phone?
No. I get information on my phone. Again.
Obviously, I don't have the Crafter one.
I would scan it on my phone, but I can't. So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time here because I'm going to show you how to build each one of these. So we'll go over these formats. I had a couple of examples, so we'll zip through these examples. If you have questions and you want to email me, that would be one of them. But I'm going to go so fast that you can't really ask me any questions. and if you want to see the presentation, that was it right there. Now, the rest of this is on the web, okay? And we're just going to go through. Now this is, to me, now this is only preference. Let me find my mouse here. See where I'm at. Can you tell me if my mouse is moving on that computer?
No. You want me to try to get it?
Oh, you know, I'm going to find it. Oh, here I am. Oh, yeah. Can you click on that for me?
Wait, oh. You can see better than I can. All right. Here we go.
Okay. This is what, I tell you, I'm going to have to do it from back there since my mouse isn't working. So I'm just going to step y'all through this generator. Okay. Are y'all okay with me talking back here? Okay. If you go over to this bar, once you go to this site, and like I said, I'll give you the link to where you can get my presentation and it can take you there. Down here, you're going to see that you can browse a website. These are the different options that you have. So you can bookmark a website with a QR code. You can make a phone call. You can send a text message. You can send an email, a V card. These are all your options. Okay, and there's even more of them down here. So those are all the things at this point in time that you can use a QR code to do. You can make a calendar event. So if you have an event that you want to come up, and when people scan that code, they can actually become a part of that calendar event. If you're going to make a QR code, you want to leave it at the recommended right here. And I'm just going to make one to my website. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to do, if I could spell that. I turned 40, my eyes went, sorry. Then right here, you can do shortening, but just leave that at default. And so I really want to show you how easy it is. I leave all the defaults pretty much like they are. This right here, the low, medium, high, those are how big the little squares are. So the bigger the squares, the easier it is to scan, so I would keep it at low.
Is low bigger?
Huh?
Low is bigger?
Yes, easier to read. And then pixels, it defaults at 10. I would leave that one like it is. Let me scroll on down here. Now, for those of you who are not printers, you see you have some different options. You can do a PNG, a PDF, TIFF, SVG, and an EPS. If you're going to have these put on your cards, do an EPS. That way it's scalable. It's an encapsulated PostScript. They won't have any problem printing it. If you're doing your website, do a PNG. If you're printing on a document, you can do a PDF because they can open that in Illustrator and they can convert it. So PDF or EPS if you're printing. If you're doing web application, it can either be TIFF or PNG. And then obviously if you're doing some type of video, I guess it is, SVG. I never use SVG, so that's not. I leave the default. So once you make an EPS, you can go into Illustrator and you can change the colors. And then basically I just do generate code. And that's your code. And then you can download it from there. Are there any questions?
You see when people put actual images in the center of the code.
Yeah, let's talk about that. In the QR code, there's a rule of thumb that you have to keep 70% of the actual image. Because I know y'all probably seen them where they have a logo or something in the middle. Man, I tinkered with that thing. That was probably a 2-day project for me. And never could get the thing to read. It's a certain 70% and it's hard to do. But if you can figure it out, it's a really cool effect.
How about that? I actually did some.
All right, we have a winner.
He goes to show you if he can do it, everybody in the room.
Y'all have any questions about QR codes?
Now this was a website URL, so if you do if you picked another one, it would always end up being a URL that you're sending them to?
No.
Or?
No. One of those QR codes on there was a phone call.
Right.
So it actually brought my phone number up. You could press call and it would call me.
Can
You could do.
Show us how that's done.
You know what? Sure.
If you don't, if
No, not at all.
Right.
I can show you exactly how that's done.
Charlie's pushy.
No, that would be kind of cool.
She told me you were pushy, so I told her, I said, well, I'd deal with that when I got to it. Okay. Let's just say you're going to do, this one was for browsing a website, right? So let's just make a phone call. And see right here, I changed the phone number.
Okay.
I put my phone number in there.
So no gaps or anything?
No gaps or anything. And then I keep all this the same. Scroll down here, and I generate this code. Does somebody have a smart reader that you could read that? I'll tell you what, let me do mine. I'm going to call myself. I'll take this off here.
Mark, just do it?
Do what?
Oh, so ask Mark, it worked.
It should be working.
Yeah, I pull up the phone number.
It just came right on up?
And then he can press call. So go ahead and call him. Did you press call? There it is right there. Sorry, I'm in a presentation. I'll talk to you later. I hope that was your number, man. I hope that wasn't.
Won the lottery.
One of the things that we've seen also is, you've talked about customer facing and external, trying to drive people to your website. The other thing is internal, right? So if you want your employees to go to the benefit selection page on your website.
Right.
You can do that internally and drive a QR code just for your internal employees.
Absolutely.
Or your internal customers.
You know, like I said, it can create a text message. It can create a website, an internal website. If you have a firewall or something, and you have an HR department, and you want your employees. We were talking about it a little earlier. I was talking with Brad, and if he had a client, for instance, that maybe they had 2 presentations that they wanted people to sign up for, people are still calling me.
Yeah, I think mine just went through.
Oh, you're calling me. You're pranking me now, huh?
I think it just went through.
Let's just say, for instance, just for an example, maybe you have a how to avoid sexual harassment in the workplace, and you have a customer service presentation. You can do QR codes for both of those, and they could actually sign up by scanning for each one, for the one they wanted to sign up for. So you can. It's a very good internal tool. But like I said, you can do calendar events if you want people to sign up for that, or you want them to. The biggest part is driving revenue to your business, obviously, and traffic. For those of you who are in marketing, traffic is one of those revenue generators, right? So it's a great way to do that and be able to track it. Did you want to see any other formats set up? It'll pretty much step you through it. If you pick a text message, it's going to ask you for a subject line. And so you put in what that subject line is. Very easy.
Yeah, your competitors to this are like the Smart Code.
Is that the Microsoft version?
No, the Smart Code is, you see it like when you get a Snickers candy bar. It says text Snickers to 90210, right? And then you text it, and then it downloads it right to your phone, right? There's so many.
But the difference in that is this is not considered spamming,
Right.
whereas the texting is.
Right.
And you have to do triple opt-in to do the texting.
Right, this is the one-on-one communication.
Yes.
With the texting, like the guys that use that, Donald Trump is like one of the top guys that uses that, right?
Right.
So he can see, who's hitting his website. He also uses they've got reward. People register for rewards to find out who's going through his casinos, who's registering in his casinos.
Cliff, is it conceivable that someone could associate malware with QR code?
I haven't heard that. I'm sure that somebody will eventually come up with some kind of virus they can embed in one. So far, it's been pretty foolproof. There hasn't been any issues like that. I mean, you could always drive them to a site, but I don't know what you would gain from that. You choose to accept
I'm not talking about
it.
wanting to do it for others.
Yeah, Brad, I wouldn't do that.
If I go around.
Whatever Brad sends you, don't answer it, okay? Don't open it.
What's on your agenda this year?
So, yeah, I'm sure there's something, somebody will work out something, but so far that I haven't heard of anything. Anything else on QR codes?
Yeah, I'll just add a few things. One of the things, I'd be curious to know if your research has been similar, that primarily it's going to be men who use it, and they're 18 to 35. Do you think that's what you're seeing?
You can look at, the market is varied like that. Obviously, the 50 to 80s aren't going to be a very good market for the QR code. However, eventually they will be forced, just like HD and all the other technologies we have and internet. People are forced to use that technology because they're accessible. And the more accessible, like I said, over the last 2 years it's been when it's caught some traction here in the US, and it's been from retailers really. Your Best Buys, CompUSA's, I guess I shouldn't use CompUSA, but those vendors, even Walmart, they're using QR codes. As people get used to using them and they see the effectiveness of them, they're going to adopt it. So you may not see, you're going to have to drive traffic your own way. You're going to have to market that. It's not like any other venue.
There's a lot, actually, if you think about it, when you look at your mail, I'm the oddball, right? So I actually read my junk mail. If you look at the Make Yourself Beautiful magazines that come in, right? So all the statisticians, the laser surgery, all those guys, look through that magazine,
Right.
you've got QR codes all over the place.
Yeah.
And that's where you go above your 18 to 35, right? Golf courses are using these. You can scan it off of a card and find out when there's available tee time. So
Yeah.
real-time available tee times that are available. So.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna add. I think that in addition to marketing, there are other applications that kind of blow you away. Like you could use it as a transportation element, like for getting a schedule for a bus or, those kind of things that.
American Airlines is toying with it for flight information.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I
In
mean,
South Korea, they have, in train stations, grocery stores put up all their products on a big wall so that people can do their shopping while they're there.
Yeah, and they know what aisle that their stuff is on too. Yeah. Well, they also, in Europe, they've got the 3M came out with a technology where when you roll your card over, it actually scans the codes in your card. It says, hey, you bought chips, would you like dip? I mean, so you run over it and it's a flat 3M tasty. It's really, the sky's the limit with the QR code at this point. And like you said, there is a challenge with people adopting it and really knowing what it is. I know probably a year ago I started presenting on QR codes and people were like, what is that? And they didn't realize how many of them, like you, they didn't realize how many of them were actually around them. In a lot of those, I saw a magazine, it was D Magazine, and they were showcasing Sam, I forget what his last name is, he's in Frisco, he's a plastic surgeon. And when you clicked on his code, it gave you an interview, a video interview of him.
Yep.
And I was thinking, we do a lot of doctor's offices in my business, and one of the things that we do is we do a lot of video in the front office. And one of the things we do, because bedside manner obviously isn't taught. Are there any doctors in here? Bedside manner usually isn't taught, so they're not very good at it. We try to show them in a softer light. So we take the video out on the park with them and their family and their dog, and we show that so while the new patient, especially if you're going to a dermatologist, they're going to strip you down and look at every aspect of your body, and that's an uncomfortable situation, especially if you're new client. So what you do is we go out, we shoot them in a very calm environment, show the personal side of them. So they've already formed an opinion of this doctor before they ever go in. He may have the personality of that shoe or or that desk. But we can help form that opinion before they go in, and they can have a trust level. So QR codes, they're not going to go away. So it's better to be on the cutting edge than on the back edge. Are there any other questions about QR codes?
The question I had is, like, you have a code somewhere in your deal to where we can download or get your presentation. So are we going to get the presentation physically on the device, or is it just going to be?
Yeah, you'll get it on the device. And I use Keynote for my presentation. I'll take it back to there.
So talk me through the process. Say I want to get your presentation onto my PC.
Okay. That's a good question. You asked me that question, and I don't know the exact URL for it, but let me go back. So, okay, so here's the C presentation. I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you what, and if I can't, I'll, if you give me your card, I'll email you where it is. There's a link to it. I knew you'd ask me something, Brad, and try to stuff me. He invites me to these things just so he can embarrass me, I know that. Okay, so let's see. See, that one works pretty quick. This particular presentation will take you to iWork, and then it'll take a few seconds for it to come up. Let me see if it gives me a URL.
See if this works.
I know everybody's.
Let's take a picture of everyone.
Yeah,
What are they doing?
instead of lighters at our concerts,
They
this.
have the lighter up. Zippo has an app that has the lighter.
Yeah. You know what's really funny is I tried the what is it? The
This is what it looks
Crafter,
like.
and it wouldn't work, and this one did work.
What's that?
The one that came with the iPhone actually did work.
It did work?
Yeah.
Yours came
That's
in
why I
nice,
s-
by the way.
What's that?
Your presentation came.
Very good. That's why I say don't delete either one of them. Sometimes the other one has worked, sometimes the crafter has worked. Um,
Well, that's what I was going to mention. Now they also have the tag code. So if you ever go to Lowe's or Home Depot, you're looking for flowers, you're looking for plants for the house, you see a little tag on the back of it, it's all kinds of colors in it. You can scan it, store it, and then go to the competitor and find out what.
If y'all want a copy of this presentation, you'll have to email me because,
We can't just go here?
well, you can go here, but if you want it on your computer.
I can't pull this on my computer?
I don't know, I guess you can. Oh, yeah. Here you go.
There you go.
Send by email. I'm gonna send it to you, Brad. You got it?
No, I don't yet, but now I understand.
Are
So
there-
that's what I was wondering. So basically, it's actually loading the presentation as an application on your
Correct.
phone, and then you can forward it like you would anything else.
I just forwarded it to you.
Okay.
That is cool.
Yes, ma'am.
So when would you, because I have seen people send out emails that have QR codes, which I kind of don't get. Why wouldn't you just embed a link to go to a website? When would you use it online?
You know, those folks are probably just, and one thing, if they printed it, they could scan it wherever they're at. So like, for instance, if you put directions to the chamber,
Sure.
if the email that Paul would have sent me, Paul, if he would have done a QR code, but he didn't. I could have scanned it, they could have given me directions, but instead I had to go and put it in my GPS. But, so that could be one reason, but really I think it's just, right now, it's just kind of a novelty.
Okay.
Some people overuse them. You know, you can QR code yourself out. But,
It's still trying to find its niche.
yeah, exactly. And it'll land somewhere. But it's definitely in the retail market. So if you're a marketer for retailers or you do packaging, man, if you can create those for your clients and educate them, the better you are. Yes.
I'll say this, when you're trying to make the custom one, it is hard to decide what to take out.
What 30% you can take out?
You have about 30% window, but what I found was kind of easy, is anyone is familiar with Photoshop, you can go in, you can put your image and bring the opacity down.
Yes.
And so, and if you keep playing with it, you can get it where you can still see the image, but it'll still scan. I mean, I have a few that I did that was real easy, rather than trying to figure out what you can cut out. I know right in the center you can cut out is one of the easiest ones.
This area right here, you can kind of cut it out because it's drawing most of its information from outside.
Those blocks are extremely important.
Yep.
Yeah.
4 blocks.
Yes.
But there also the shapes can be manipulated a little bit. But like I said, the easiest way I found is quickly get one that has a little customization to it. It's just to bring another
Lay
image
it
on top
over, lay over.
and
Sure.
bring it down. Anyway, just thought I'd,
No, that's good. Those of you who are
I got an
Photoshop,
example. I have an example to show you.
Photoshop novices.
Yeah, just, I guess, last one for me, just to kind of let everybody know from our world, right? So we played with this a lot. University House, which is student housing throughout the United States, they commissioned us to make a bunch of t-shirts to promote University House, right? So we went through trial and error, and we kept putting the code on it. As it appears right there, we're like, what? It won't scan. And you're right, I mean, every scanner reads it differently. So we're walking through the office with shirts, and people are scanning. It's like, some people get it, some people don't. What we found is, and we'd love to help you guys out if you guys decide to do anything like this, but if not, you know, word for thought, put a box around the QR code so it knows that it's got a boundary, right?
Yeah.
Because if it doesn't, like on a white t-shirt like this, it would just keep going. It would keep trying to read.
It keeps trying to focus. It goes.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you know, definitely use a boundary on it if you're going to try to print something.
And also, if you're going to print on a black shirt, you can't reverse it.
Yeah, so
They don't work in reverse.
Yeah.
But you can.
You can do
Oh,
colors.
you can do a white outline and
Yes.
make sure the whole block is white, but you can't do a negative of a
Exactly.
block.
And what we found is you could do, so like if you did a yellow shirt will supplant the white shirt, right?
Right.
So the white background. Light colors will supplant, you can't substitute the dark color.
Yes.
Right.
That is correct.
Probably a little bit more information you guys have to
Yeah. More than
Well,
that.
and you know, if you stay with that Crafter software that I did back there, It won't allow you to do the wrong thing. It'll say background transparent or black, background white.
Right.
So,
That's exactly right.
So, now you know how to make your own QR codes. So, anything else?
Not very difficult. Also, how much I
Printing something. If you're printing something.
All right, I agree.